some peace of mind because number one, it's going to get done. It's not going to be as expensive as I anticipated it was going to be. I have worked through the trauma, and yes, this is like the hero's journey experience for me to think about The Hobbit, where Bilbo Baggins is sent on a journey to return the ring or retrieve the ring. I don't even know what was he going? What difference does it make? This is the hero's journey, but there's all sorts of obstacles along the way. And really, honestly, it's like how many times when this happens, I just want to go home. But where is home for me? My trailer is my home. Have you ever been on a journey that the obstacles were just so overwhelming that you didn't even know why you were continuing and maybe you just wanted to run home? That's happened to me, except where is home? Where is home? My trailer is my home. I showed you the video of my journey to get to Kentucky, and I was praying for traveling mercies, and I was sharing about using my badass tools to get through the vet bill and the tire replacement and the axle repair and the computer problems. And then here I am. I leave there. Remember that it went where I was going to get out of there because it was too loud, and my friend Lene was coming, and we were going to have some touristy things to go do and see the Tennessee Walker horse breeding farm and go to the Ark Encounter. And I wanted to leave and have a more peaceful environment. And I found a campground, a Corps of Engineer campground in Campbellsville, Kentucky, and it was only an hour away. And I had done all my prep work, all my safety work. I was ready to get out of all that noise and angst and whatnot. Easy drive, decent weather. I got here and the crazy journey just continued, and actually it got worse. I know. How could it have possibly gone worse? You know what's really interesting is that morning, Darla and I were walking the dog, and we were talking about all of the crazy that I've experienced. And keeping in mind, I'm still grieving the loss of my mother. It's only been a couple of months since all of that concluded and my mom died. And when I say concluded, all of the care, all of the moving around, you'd have to go back to my other videos to find out how all of this has transpired. It's been quite a year already for me. And we were just talking about that, and I'd said, what else could go wrong? Certainly, I've gotten through the worst of it. And we even joked around about the verse, oh, don't put that out in the universe. It'll say, hold my beer. And literally later on that afternoon, I get to the campground, beautiful place. It's Corps of Engineers, so they're operating all on volunteer basis now. So there's not really any staff. And it's very wooded and very gorgeous. And I pull up to my camp space, and it's very one lane, small road and tight area to back into. And I'm going slow, I'm being careful, but I'm also, it's like I haven't done maneuvers like this in such a tight space with this big trailer. And so I'm trying to back it into my space. And with a nice thing about fifth wheel is that you can turn the truck like completely sideways practically. I bumped into a tree, and it was like, yeah, it did a little damage on the bumper of the truck. Okay. It frustrated me, and I realized, okay, I'm going to have to maneuver the trailer over a little bit closer and come at it at a different angle. So I slowly start to drive around to make the loop. And I got to a spot a little bit further down where it was a pretty tight turn, and I didn't navigate it properly. And I ended up rolling my trailer right into a ditch and hit a concrete culvert. Now, I'll be honest, it's like I don't know if anxiety just flooded my brain and I just had a bad judgment call, or if it was just a simple mistake. Whatever, I had to deal with it. I get out of the truck, and at first it's like I thought I was just stuck in a little rut, and I tried to go and I kept going forward. It turned out it was a concrete culvert, and I actually did some damage. And I get out of the truck and I look around, and it's just, I'm just completely screwed. And I pull out my phone, and there's no cell service because I realize there's no help here. There's nobody around. It's an empty campground. And help is up the way. I can go back to the woman who checked me in and get help. That's all I could do because there was no cell service. So I grabbed the dog out of the truck, grabbed my purse, hiked it up to the office, told her what happened. I have been through enough crisis management in my lifetime that I go automatically into resolution mode. It's like, we just got to solve this. I have been through it so many times that I don't have time to have a meltdown or breakdown or cry or just be emotional. And this was out of my scope. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just knew I needed a tow truck. I wasn't going to get it out of there, not by myself. I have a flat tire now. So I get up to the front office, and her name is Leanne, and her husband Steve was out on the golf cart. So he comes up and he goes and checks it out, and I have to use her phone or the campground landline to call AAA to get a truck out here. And he goes down and checks it out, and he comes back with the same report. She's pretty screwed. And anyway, I'd like to say I'd make a long story short because we called the AAA, sent out a tow truck. And here's the thing. We didn't know how significant the damage was. It looked like I had some broken axles, definitely a flat tire, but it's stuck in a rut and we can't pull it out without the help of another vehicle. So the truck driver shows up. We got him and we've got Steve, the campground camp host. Remember, he's a volunteer. He's not an employee. He's just a volunteer. And Leanne and me are like in the background with the dog, and I'm shooting video of what's going on. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to get my big ass trailer out of this ditch on this very windy road. And it's not looking real promising. And I haven't been here. I'm surprised that the truck driver showed up within 15 minutes of making the call. So I haven't even been in this campground at this point for 45 minutes. And the video demonstrates that they did a really good job. I was very grateful. First of all, Leanne, she tells me, she goes, it's pretty common there that this happens because that is a really tight loop, really sharp corner. She goes, but you pretty much take the cake. And she goes, I hope you don't mind. I'm like, no, I got a sense of humor. I've got help. She goes, you're in the Bible Belt here. You're going to find a lot of people that'll be willing to help you. And she wasn't just joking about that. She and her husband were just amazing. So Steve is like a jack of all trades, but he has a cast on his arm because he had some surgery done. So he's like not able to do as much as he normally would, but he's checking things out. He's talking with the tow truck driver. And I'm very grateful because I don't know anything. I would have just been like completely lost. And he wants to make sure that the towing of it doesn't do more damage to the trailer. So they are very clever, and we were able to back it out, or not back it out, but lift the trailer up so he could pull it forward and get it out of the ditch. Then they had to figure out how to reconnect the axles so we could drive it out of there. Meanwhile, realizing that we got to park this thing and it's not movable. And so I need to be in a different spot because I need electricity and water, and we're not going to be able to back it into these spots because being on only one axle, it's impossible. It has to be forward going. So Leanne begins immediately making phone calls to get me another spot now. So Steve pulls my trailer around to another spot. Tow truck driver follows just in case the axle falls off. And we're obviously all of us just thinking worst case scenario. Okay, we found me a spot. We got me pulled in. I got settled down. Steve was super helpful. I even said, I just want to hug you right now. And he goes, oh, I don't really need a hug, but I'll take a case of beer. So he hugged me anyway. And I still bought him some beer for helping me like the next day. And I know that right now I'm smiling because I'm relieved because the progress has happened. But here we are, we're in rural Kentucky. And I left the chaos of the fireworks store, and my friend Lene was coming for a visit, and this trip was already booked. She bought her airplane ticket before I ever left Mesa, so she was already coming, which is why I wanted to come here. So now here I am, I'm completely broken down and I can't go anywhere, and I am stressed. Like it's not even up to here, it's shooting out of my head, the stress level. And once again, like I said in the last video, I didn't have time to be emotional about it. I had to get the job done. I had to manage it. I had to get myself under control, no matter how anxious I was. And no matter if I thought it was my fault or I did something wrong or I'm stupid or whatever we say to ourselves, right? I had to dismiss it. I had to go away. And I got comfort from people telling me this stuff happens. I've talked to many RVers. This accidents happen to us all the time. Don't, it's not the end of the world. However, I'm in a campground that is fully booked up, and now I've got a volunteer basically making phone calls to move other people who have had reservations for this particular spot that they've got to move now. And we're in rural Kentucky, not a whole lot of mobile RV repair services. There just aren't. It's a small town. It's not like it's a tourist town. So services are scarce. So this was like in the evening. So nothing could be done overnight. I had to wait till the next day. And so I got up and I went over to the local RV dealerships, which was recommended by Steve and Leanne. And I went over there and I got a card for a mobile repair guy. And he came out, but it took him a few days because he's an hour away and super busy for obvious reasons. But I don't have a choice. He says he wants me to take some pictures of it. He goes, take some pictures of it for me so I can at least get a visual of what it looks like. So I literally, out of my comfort zone, I had to climb underneath my trailer. And I'm literally, because I couldn't really take the pictures from a laying down position. So I'm sitting up under my trailer, crouched down, taking pictures of the axles, taking pictures of the equipment that's broken so that I can text it to him so that he can get a good assessment. And first he's thinking, it looks like you need an axle, maybe two. This is going to be super expensive. Great. Okay. So I call my insurance. I have to now because, dude, I'm out of money. I can't pay cash for all of this. If it's going to be $3,000 or $4,000 damage that I've just done, he's going to come out. He looks, but he calls me back and he says, I can't really tell into the damage. I got to come and see it. Maybe you only need one axle. Maybe you don't need the second one. And because of parts and everything else, I wouldn't want you to order two axles and then we have to deal with sending it back and whatnot. So I think it's better for me just to come out and look at it. And that's going to be $250. Worth it. Okay. So it takes him a couple days though. He goes, I can't come out until Friday though, Friday morning. Okay, Lene's coming in Thursday night. And I was actually like, all right, good. Lene's my mechanical friend who's been with me on this whole journey. She'll be here for this. He was delayed. I did pick up Lene at the airport and she was already well aware of everything that had gone on. And she's my friends, Bill and Darlene and Lene, both very supportive. Just like, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. At least you're safe. At least it happened in a campground. There were so many things to be grateful for. That's really what kind of got me through the that I was experiencing. And I picked up Lene, and so the guy comes out on Friday, but he doesn't make it till the afternoon. So then our day of going and visiting the Bourbon Trail, actually, it was the Ark Encounter we were going to go to, but I canceled the Ark Encounter. We just were going to flip flop it and go to the Ark Encounter on Sunday instead because I figured we'd do the Bourbon Trail. We'll just flip flop it so that way I've got time for him to show up. But he got delayed on another project and didn't make it out here until 4 o'clock. So he looks at it and says, hey, it's not as bad as we thought it was. I don't need two new axles. I don't even need one new axle. I just need some welding done and then the parts to replace the broken leaf springs and the MoRide suspension that broke on the driver's side because the right side is fine. So he says you need a welder. But he's going on vacation, and so he's thinking you might be able to get it to a dealership or get it towed there, and then they can finish the job for you because I'm going to be gone. Okay. All right. I don't know how I'm going to get this thing towed. I don't have, two of my wheels are not on it, and it's broken. But here it is. It's Friday afternoon, and there's nobody to call. But now at least I have some peace of mind that it's been looked at, and I know what I need to do. But there's nothing now I can do until Monday because nobody is open on the weekends. This is rural Kentucky, and it is a very slow pace. One thing I have learned is you just got to be patient. You just got to practice patience. And thank God the campground has made arrangements for me to be able to stay here for a few weeks because I'm sure that they're from Kentucky too, and they know what the challenges are going to be. Plus, we had known when the repair guy said I might need two new axles, he learned that it was a 2-week delivery delay before they would get here. So I was going to be here for a couple of weeks, no matter what. But now I know it's only welding that needs to be done. Okay, peace of mind. Got to find a welder to come out here and fix the trailer. So I make a few calls and then I go and I talk to Leanne and Steve and give them an update because they'd had their own emergency that they had to contend with over the weekend and had left to go back home. So they weren't here for a few days. So I gave them the update, told them I needed a welder, and it turns out that Steve knew of a welder. So he calls the guy, and this is now Tuesday morning. And he calls the guy because I'd called somebody on Monday and he said he'd come out Wednesday or Thursday, but it didn't sound very promising. Like I said, they're very low key here. There's no sense of urgency in anybody. And they're busy because there's very minimal services, but probably a good deal of need. At least when I show up into town, I seem to bring destruction with me lately. So anyway, I tell Steve and Leanne the issue, what's happening, give them the update. Turns out Steve knows somebody, and in less than an hour or so, the guy is here to fix the welding. This is a miracle. Miraculously, he was already in town because normally he would have been an hour away also. So he comes right over, takes a look at it. Everyone kind of looks at me like, what the heck are you doing here from California? I'm here. It doesn't matter. So he spends a couple of hours. And yes, he needed to fix the brackets and do some welding and fabricate something. I don't even know. What do I know? I'm so far out of my comfort zone that I don't even know what I'm talking about. I am really just relying on the kindness of strangers. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of great hospitality out here in Kentucky and a lot of nice, kind, generous people. So this guy does the work for me. He spends a couple of hours doing this, and this is my psychotherapy day. So and so strangely enough, it works out okay because my clients are on Pacific Standard Time, and right now I'm on Eastern Time. So even though I have a 9 a.m. client, it's not going to be till noon here. He shows up, and I'm thinking he might be done by noon because he was here at 9:30. But noon comes, I have to bump the client. Next client comes, I had to bump two clients and move them. But thankfully, I had the flexibility, and so did they, to be able to do that. And he finished the job, and we sit down and we take care of the payment, and it was only $300. Really, it was only $300. So far, this job, 250 for the guy Cliff to come out, then $300 to have it welded. Then I called back Cliff, and even though he's going to be on vacation, can you order these parts? I still would feel much more comfortable with you finishing the job, and I've got the space here for another couple of weeks. I'd rather sit tight because there is no other mobile service. Anybody else I have work on this is going to have to come out and assess it anyway. It's going to cost me more money to try to bring somebody else in to finish this project, and there's no way still to tow it to a dealership. I need you. He agreed. He graciously agreed to do it, but he said, I'll order the parts before I leave on my vacation, but I am going to be out of commission while I'm gone. I need the downtime. Totally understand that. As long as you can come back before, my time is up here. And so he agreed to that. So now I have some peace of mind because number one, it's going to get done. It's not going to be as expensive as I anticipated it was going to be. I have worked through the trauma, and yes, this is like the hero's journey experience for me to think about The Hobbit, where Bilbo Baggins is sent on a journey to return the ring or retrieve the ring. I don't even know what was he going? What difference does it make? This is the hero's journey, but there's all sorts of obstacles along the way. And really, honestly, it's like how many times when this happens, I just want to go home. But where is home for me? My trailer is my home. There's nothing, and I did this dialogue with my friends, with myself, in my journaling about what was I trying to accomplish here? And I didn't want to run home with my tail between my legs because I failed. I didn't fail. I just had some obstacles that I needed to overcome. Have you ever felt that way before? In the beginning of this RV journey, I wanted to go further, but I was constantly going back and forth from Arizona and back to California to care for my parents and take care of the details. Now they're both gone, and there's nothing for me to rush back to. So it's almost like what negative forces are preventing me from going further out? And I got to tell you, if you're going to get stuck anywhere, like I said, get stuck in Kentucky. It's beautiful here. I have lots of great scenery. I did a few tours and a few excursions, and I love it here. It's very wet and rainy, which is why I'm wearing a hat for my hair, because it's just like out of control, which I don't normally mind, but it when I wash it, it'll take 3 hours or more to dry, and then it doesn't even really feel dry. So I'm here still, and I'm settled back down. I have literally used my badass tools. In fact, Leanne called me a badass without even knowing about my branding. She goes, "You're a badass." And she said that like the day we met. And then as a thank you, I gave her a copy of Dead Air. I bought her husband the beer, but I gave her a copy of Dead Air. And your book is excellent. You're going to have to sign it before you leave. So we're going to have dinner. We're going to have some cocktails. We're going to be able to socialize a little bit now that the worst is over. I've been here now a little over a week, but I still have a couple of more weeks to stay. So I'm not unhappy about that now that I know, now that I have the confidence and the comfort of knowing that repairs have started, they're on their way. I know what I need to do next. I know what's going to happen. It should be fine. It will be fine. I've gotten a lot of encouragement, even from other people saying stuff just happens. And if there was any kind of mental health tool that I could offer, because how did I get through this? I don't know. Honestly, I did want to just hightail it and go home, but you know what? How could I? My trailer was still broken. I couldn't leave. What was I going to do? Abandon my trailer and just fly home? And then what? I don't have anywhere to live because I left my home at home. I didn't go that crazy, but sometimes we do. We want to cut tail and run. So I don't have the choice. I have to stick this out. And that's the way it goes. If you're on a path and you know it's the right one, and you have these obstacles or you failed at something, it doesn't mean it's not meant to be. It just means that it's okay to work a little harder at it if you really want it. I really wanted to do a Radio Is Not Dead podcast out here in Kentucky. I really wanted to go to Nashville. I did want to go to a film writing conference in Pigeon Forge, but that's unfortunately not going to happen. I can't get there. But then after this, I don't know where I'm going to go. That has not been even an opportunity for me to think about. I still want to work on flipping the format of the fear of failure. I had to reconnect with Mike McVeigh about that, share my story with him. We'll figure that out, but also my next novel has been, I don't want to say screaming at me because that's not really happens, but it keeps tickling my brain. And so I'm stuck here and I'm going to make the best of it. I'm still going to go to the Ark Encounter. I am going to take a day trip down to Nashville. I am going to schedule a Radio Is Not Dead podcast, and we'll see what happens after that. But that is my update for now. There will be more to come, I'm sure, and you're going to just have to subscribe and find out about the next Kismet adventure and serendipitous encounters. I'm Kelly Orchard. Over and out. See you later.